All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about moving way beyond using AI for just simple code completion. This is about weaving it into a professional development workflow, one that's structured, totally reliable, and seriously effective. This is what we're calling the AI vibes practice.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down the AI-first best vibe coding practices. Think of these as the ground rules for optimizing your development process when you're working with AI agents. This is what takes you from just casually experimenting to a serious, structured implementation.
So we have to start with the fundamental choice every single developer faces with AI. Over on the left, you've got YOLO edits. You know what I'm talking about? Unplanned, chaotic, and yeah, they feel fast in the moment, but they are incredibly risky. And on the right, we have plan mode, strategic, structured, and verifiable. Our goal? It's to live entirely on the right side of this slide.
Here's how we're going to get there. First, we'll lay down a structured workflow. Then, we'll dive into 3 clear phases: the planning, the AI-driven implementation, and then the rigorous verification. And finally, we'll see how all of this elevates AI from just a simple tool to a genuine development partner. First up, moving from chaos to structure. This is all about putting a repeatable, professional framework in place for every single task you do with AI.
And the core of that structure is this proven 3-step workflow: ask, plan, agent. First, you ask questions to build all the necessary context. Then, you use that context to define a super clear strategy. And only then do you let the agent actually implement it. This sequence, it's non-negotiable. You have to do it in this order.
Okay, so let's really dig into that first step, phase 1, planning. This is where you set the entire task up for success before a single line of code ever gets touched.
And here's the simple but powerful rule. If a task is going to touch more than one file, you must start in plan mode. Why? Well, because it forces the AI to spit out a verifiable to-do list and a concrete plan, which keeps it from just going off the rails when things get complex.
Now this brings us to a really key strategy, the conscious model switch. You know, modern tools let you swap out models, and you should take full advantage of that. For instance, you might use a powerhouse model like GPT-4o for the big picture architecture and planning. Then, you switch to a model that's known for its surgical precision, like Claude 3 Sonnet, for the actual code edits. It's all about picking the right tool for the job.
Okay, moving on to phase 2, agent-driven implementation. So your plan is solid. Now it's time to guide the AI to execute that plan with absolute precision.
Before you tell the agent to go, you give it a definition of done. And this quote here is a perfect example of what that means. It's not just, hey, implement the feature. It's a checklist of objective, verifiable goals. All tests passing, the linter is clean, no unused code, and the changelog is updated. Now the agent knows exactly what success looks like.
And remember, this is not a fire and forget process. You have to work iteratively. Implement in small chunks and verify constantly. And here's a pro tip for you. Explicitly command the agent to report back on which tests it ran and what their results were. This forces accountability and gives you a real-time pulse on the quality of its work.
Now for the final, and you could argue the most important stage, phase 3, review and verification. The agent might say it's done, but your job, as the senior developer in the room, is really just beginning.
So that begs the question, right? How exactly should you approach verifying the agent's work to make sure you're maintaining professional standards?
The answer is simple, and it's powerful. You treat the AI's output exactly like a pull request from a human team member. I mean, you wouldn't blindly merge a junior dev's PR, would you? Of course not. And you absolutely should not blindly accept the AI's code either. You have to apply the same critical eye, the same high standards, the same rigor.
And to make that review process way faster and more effective, make this your final command on every task. Ask for a structured summary of the changes. You can see here you want a list of the files it modified, a high-level summary of the diff, and, this is crucial, the AI's own assessment of any potential risks. This is an incredible accelerator for your review.
So let's bring it all together. When you adopt these practices, you fundamentally change your relationship with AI. You really do elevate it from just being a simple tool to a strategic partner. This entire disciplined workflow, the ask, plan, agent, verify cycle, this is what transforms the AI. It stops being a fancy autocomplete and becomes a reliable, strategic partner. It's a partner you can delegate complex tasks to with real confidence because you have a process in place to guarantee quality. And that leaves us with a final thought to consider. We talk a lot about prompt engineering, but maybe the real emerging skill gap isn't just about talking to AI, but about having the professional discipline to manage it effectively. What do you think?